Either that or maybe I need a break. I think I'm just getting too choppy here, I think is my problem. Now, is that a little better? Not too square here. A little better. I think so. The head might need a little more, but how does the profile look? I think I'm messing with the profile. I think the head, I'm still debating on kind of trimming this a little bit and kind of start a little over. I think we might have still a little too much forehead. It does. Still comes up. And I think the knife is still a little bit dull. But I'm just going to take a little break from here. And I think we'll do the ears and the neck. And then once the ears and neck, a little bit of the back of the head, then we'll be able to, then we'll start in on this guy here. So let's see what you got. Are you this far? I think we need to work with that back a little more. In fact, a lot more. There. Okay, let's do a little bit more straightening out of the face. Kind of, I want to say semi-finalizing the face. Now, one of the things is we want to get this around a little bit here. If your hand just kind of round a little bit. Scoop, it's more of a scoop. Opposite of rounded, upside down rounded. Now I want to work with the beard a little bit. Just kind of cleaning up a little bit. A little bit of rounding, taking saw marks off. That's still kind of square, not too rounded. And then taking those saw marks off. And as we're taking the saw marks off, we want to sort of round the neck a little bit. If you want to take a, maybe we can start with a number 9 chisel here and just going to get it started a little bit. I want to round by the neck, not underneath the beard. So I want the beard to come straight and then up. But here, I'm still taking some saw marks off and then scoop with the tip of the knife. I want that transition to round. Don't worry about the thickness of the neck. Right now, we'll take care of that later. The way I do things is I just like to do things kind of one little step at a time. See, the next thing we're going to work on is the ears. Just at least get it started. And I like to do things, like I said, one step at a time. And there's nothing wrong with these ear sticks or nose sticks or lip sticks or whatever. The thing is, and I might have a little difficulty, and I don't know if you have a little difficulty, is how does it fit? Sure, you can learn to carve an ear and learn to carve a nose, but you gotta figure out where it all fits. Because I like to develop things. I really don't get into anybody's pattern too much anymore as I used to. Yeah, just like to do my own stuff. And I'm still learning how to do things. And I like to do this, and one way to learn is one step at a time. I want to round this off just a little bit. There we go. See, make it round with this. Or the opposite around, a scoop. There we go. Again, a little bit of scooping. And if you want to get the chisel in there, just a little bit of rounding. Oops. You got to do slicing to avoid the chattering, and of course use it at the tip of your knife to avoid that chattering. Okay, let's work on the ear a little bit. Let me just cut this in here a little. I just wanted to clean that. It looks ugly. No, I'll have to come back to it later. That's one thing. The other thing I like to do is as soon as I see something that's not right, I jump on in. Okay, the ear. We're going to make the ear again a little more realistic. Now, of course, you know Abraham Lincoln has larger ears, so you can make it caricature as you want. The ear is just going to be just a little bit above the eyebrow, or at the eyebrow. Again, I am going to carve a little bit larger than I should. We can always trim it down. Make an ear shape, and I'm going to use all of this. Just above the eyebrow. Okay. Now we need to start in cutting. Do your stop cut. And that's the other thing is I like to do cutouts instead of rough outs, because rough outs you're pretty well, you know, whatever you got, you can't really alter it that much. Where rough outs you can kind of change things a little bit. It's really interesting. Early in my wood carving profession, I don't say profession, or when I started wood carving, I wish I remember some of these people. There was one particular person we had for a carving class is bring in your old cutout, or rough out too, in which if you don't have a pattern for, he could be able to figure it out or completely change it into something different. Remember one person who took that class came back and had it was a Santa he brought in. It was a cutout for a Santa, but he turned around and made it into a dog standing up. And so it just goes to show you can do a lot with a cutout over a rough out. But if you want rough out to get, you know, to understand the detailing, I suppose, or understanding the other artists, the other wood carver, how he's thinking or she's thinking, then a cutout, a rough out is good. And the other thing I don't like, I think I'll probably have to incorporate that somehow. The other thing I don't like, if you notice when I cut this out, how I just, in fact, even my pattern here, you could just see, I just did a from here to here and here to here, you know, where there's other that actually could take their saw and bend the blade and cut in here and cut out. I really don't like those cutouts. One, if you're familiar with the Marv Kaiserstadt book, Marv Kaiserstadt, and he does patterns in which you have the body, but the head is just this big square. And I've always believed in that. I mean, it's like one of those things that I believed in, and then I saw that, and I do believe in that. Is just start from a square or something close to. Going the wrong way here. Well, let's round that off a little bit. And that's why I do like the cutouts better. Even maybe start from the whole block of wood. But I do like cutouts to get some of that wood out of there. Now the profile, you see how the head kind of has this, it stops here, it comes out here and then goes in. Where you see is lacking here, so let's start in this shape. Maybe I should have used my chisel. But I got this in my mind that I passed the chisel stage. Oops, this way here. Okay, let's just cut this out. Oops. Careful of taking chips too big of chip off in one cut, because you might take off more than you want. Oops, wrong way. Oops. I did goof that up. I still can get deeper here. Rounding the head a little bit. Take this off carefully. Ooh, I think I pretty well buried my knife there on that last chip.